Hello, everyone. So today's daily, I'm going to just share a few downloads that I got. Okay, because we're still actually moving through this strong energy of this shift, of this change. And this is like really, really big. So it was ushered in back in 2020, that winter solstice on 12/21/2020. That was a huge, huge point of manifesting the life that you wanted for yourself. So the next phase is going to bring in the results of whatever you did with that energy. So the past 2 years, whatever you've been working through, healing, letting go of, remembering, calling back to you, creating, you're going to start seeing it manifest. So Wednesday's message was about us being at that critical moment of ushering in the change that you want. So let me tell you why this is so important, right? You are the creator of your life. So when we get to that point where that door is open and they say, "Come, child, walk through." But it's up to you. You have free will. And you say, "I'm not sure this is what I want, so I can't come. I'm okay in this safe zone. This is where I want to stay." Whether or not you realize, because a lot of people are doing this unconsciously. They're not aware that what they're doing is they're keeping the old false matrix up. When you do this, when you work through fear, you're choosing to help the old system that has kept mankind in bondage. You're choosing to help it stand, right? And that's fine because some people chose that path. And that's actually a part of the awakening. Some people have to choose the opposite energy to create the change. And that's just some people's path. So there's no judgment with that. But when you say, "This is the energy I want to stay in," at this critical moment, to choose that is to say, "I want to live in this energy where I am making choices out of fear because I want to stay in this comfortability that I've created for myself, and I don't want to expand. I don't want to experience anything other than this comfort that I've created." So moving forward, that's the energy, your energy signature. You're going to always work through that energy. So for those of you who are at this space where you say, "I'm letting go and I'm just going to allow what needs to happen for me to happen," you're going to feel more free. There's not going to be that energy signature of fear in the next phase. When you make decisions, it's going to come with that lightness because you were able to let go. So it's important to realize that you create whatever energy you're going to live in. So when we're at a brink of change and they say, "Let go, allow, flow with it," and you do that, just know the next phase of your life will have that flow energy where things are just happening. It flows through. It's seamless. You're not having to force anything. You're not having to fight anything because you chose that. And that's why the best place to be is in the present. I will cross that bridge when I get there. I'm not going to, right now in this moment, decide what I will do if this happens. And anyone who knows me, I don't like hypotheticals. What would you do if this? If you were in this position, well, I don't know what I would do. That situation would have to present itself to me, and I would decide at that moment. I have no idea what I would do in that moment. I can tell you what I think I would do, but the true me is telling me, as I'm telling you what I think I would do, the true me is telling me, You don't know what you would do. You would have to be in the energy to know. And that's the way to live your life. When I get there, I'll realize what I'll do. I'm going to flow with whatever I feel. Wherever it takes me, I'm going to trust it in that moment. And that's when you're free. That's when you're free. But when you're always planning ahead and what if this and I don't know what, that's when you're living in fear, in doubt, and uncertainty. And that's when concern comes up all the time. You're always concerned, you're worried. So we're moving into a more freeing energy, For those who feel like they were able to free themselves from things, and just know there is no one look. There's not a playbook of what this looks like, because that's just not how it works. Because there can be some people, their life look exactly the same, but their energy has shifted. So there's no one who can judge who's doing what and who's where they need to be. 'Cause you're not in a place to make that kind of judgment. So you're sending love to everyone, because this doesn't have a certain look. It has a certain feel. Okay? So as we move into the new space, yes, there's going to be some who chose to keep the false matrix up. And those are like the deniers of truth. Those are the people who maybe, why would someone not ascend, right? Why wouldn't someone ascend? I feel like this is a question some will have and some people ask. Why would someone not move on to the higher energies? Good question. Very good question. Now, a lot of these things we've touched on time and time and time again, but the strongest reason why someone wouldn't ascend is their belief system. Okay, and some people, this is not something they're doing consciously. This is an unconscious decision. At a subconscious level, they're choosing to cut themselves off from the higher dimensional frequencies. And many of these people, they sound like if you're giving them advice, or if you're just talking to them, having a conversation and you're exchanging ideas, they will probably deny a lot of the things that you for yourself know is your truth, right? And they won't be able to see life the way you see it. They'll be like, all that mumbo jumbo, psychic stuff and all that, tarot stuff, it's not real, it's fake, that supernatural stuff. And some people will say this with their mouth, but deep down they believe it to be true. They just haven't seen evidence of it. So that person, they're not totally cut off. Because some people will say it, but they have dreams, right? They've had a lot of synchronicities and they see a lot of signs that they can't ignore. So those people, they're not completely cut off. They're kind of, unconsciously trying to cut themselves off, but there's something about their higher self that's waking up. Now, there's some people, they don't believe it at all, and it doesn't resonate at all. Now, this is someone we would consider like they're hijacked, in a sense, like they're totally cut off, right? And that is just their path. And just know every single last one of us have had an existence where we've chosen a path like that, where we just chose not to evolve. We wanted to stay stuck so that we can know what it feels like. Okay, our goal is to experience everything. We're here to experience everything, the good and bad. So those people who want to stay in a protective bubble, it's like they've abandoned mission and they've said, I no longer want to partake in the experiment of evolution, and they stop growing. And this is what we would consider a hijacking. And this is when we start saying, the control factor, or someone who's they're unenlightened, right? Now, what can make a person not ascend? Yes, what you choose to believe or what you choose not to believe. It can also be your lifestyle. Some people, they can have a belief system that can help them ascend, but they partake in certain activities, behaviors, actions that don't support it. There's no evidence of it in their life. They're not living it. They believe it, but they don't live it. So your lifestyle, okay? Also, the things you say, the words you speak. Your words are powerful. That can be a barrier. The things you say, okay? The things you eat, the things you're putting in your body can affect you. The places you go, the places you frequent, right? I don't like this job, but I'm going to it every day. It can actually be a barrier to your growth because it's not supporting your ascension, right? So it's just habits, behaviors, the actions you take, amongst other things. So discernment is important here. And your energy field will show this, your aura. Some of us can see auras. And it can show based on what colors are the strongest around you, can show where your frequency is. And we have to be mindful that this is all choice. It's all choice. It could be a subconscious choice, but it's a choice. Okay? Now, I have a few things that's coming through energetically as I'm talking to y'all. I'm seeing certain images. So the first thing here is acceptance. Some people, their barrier is they have not been able to accept the truth. And that's the only barrier. Even if the evidence is shown, they're not able to accept it as truth. They feel like it's something they still need to debate, or they still need to question, or they're not certain of. That, for some people, is the only thing holding them back. And this actually came up through the recent zodiac signs readings that I put up. I wasn't able to do all the signs, but I would advise you all to listen to the ones that I did. There's a message in there for everyone. Okay, so discernment is going to be important. Like, the people you're listening to, are they encouraging oneness, togetherness, or are the messages that they're giving you promoting divisiveness, separation, me versus them? It doesn't matter how much you love to listen to someone. Is their message of the frequency to help you ascend? Is it telling you that you should be looking for revenge, or that you should be out for some type of vengeance? That is not a message of the divine. That's not coming from a higher frequency. And you all need to be able to discern this on your own, because many of those of you who are on the path of ascension, what's holding you back is the things you're allowing yourself to listen to, partake in. That's a hindrance for many. And this has been coming up quite a bit. People who are calling themselves spiritual teachers or healers, psychics, mediums, tarot card readers. Many people are doing this because it's an opportunity to advance themselves, the service to self. And those of you who are not able to discern this, it's having an effect on you, and you may not realize this. Now, we are in a time where you have to use your own personal discernment. It's not going to be that person's fault that you didn't ascend. That's not how it's looked at. You have to be at a place where you can discern what's best for you. Everyone is doing what they feel is best for them. So even those people who are false prophets, that's what they're calling these people, false prophets, who are giving these messages, they feel that they're doing what's best for them. They feel like they're on their path. So just know they're doing what they feel is best. So there's no judgment on them. Even if they're picking up karma, that is their choice. This is what they're choosing. And that's going to be between them and their higher self. That has nothing to do with you. You have to be at the place where you can discern, do I need to change the channel? Is this resonating with my higher self? And this is so important right now because we are promoting oneness, togetherness, service to others. As you give to others, as you give to yourself. And this is unconditional love here. This is walking by someone and seeing their beautiful smile and telling them how lovely it is. This is waking up in the morning and just being grateful and proclaiming that it's going to be a wonderful day. This is just when you do it because it feels good, right? Right now, the energy is one love, oneness, togetherness. Even if you don't agree with someone, knowing they're a child of the divine. So much is expected of you all. Much is expected. You're expected to know how to discern what's best for you. This is when you birth a new life for yourself. And the way you'll know you're kind of in that new energy is everything just feels okay. It just feels balanced, at ease. There is no worry. If you're dealing with overthinking, stress, anxiety, you want to send that out to be transmuted. Ask that it is blessed, it's transformed, it's transmuted, and it's sent back to you. I see some people are about to experience something specific here. And this feels like it's going to be quite a journey for some of you. And it has something to do with your finances here. I'm not getting anything else on that, so I'm going to move on. Those of you who have done like a lot of inner work, inner healing, new beginnings, expect a lot of new beginnings. So I see some people have moved. I see some people have moved on. It's like deciding that what has happened in the past was what was meant to happen and being at peace with it. That indicates that you've moved on. Loving yourself in the experience that you're going through, that indicates that you've moved on. Feeling like you're in control and that you are able to make the decisions of what's best for you, that indicates that you're moved on. Being able to find peace in silence, in your own company. And I mean by yourself, and you don't have an electronic device in your hand and you're looking through it. That's not what I mean. When you can sit by yourself and find peace in that, that indicates that you've moved on. So I'm seeing new emotional fulfillment and new, strong, stable foundations here. That's what I'm seeing. So some people, this is going to come in the form of like physical things. A home here. I'm seeing a home. Some people, this is a new, stable relationship. A lot of divine unions are happening. Many divine unions are happening. Trust is so important. With these divine unions, for them to work, both people need to be in a place of trust. Even when, or even if there's a thought that comes up that makes you feel like you're about to experience another pattern that you've experienced in the past, If you're trusting, you've cracked the code. So it's like, even when the evidence tells you this is going to be something that you don't want to experience, and you say, even though I see this evidence, I'm trusting that it's in my best interest, you've cracked the code. You're not working out of fear. You change your DNA when you do that. So that's what we're doing. We're changing ourselves by not allowing ourselves to fall into the trap of fear. So I'm not going to experience this because I'm afraid that this will happen to me. No, you're trusting. And trust, it looks different for everyone. So you have to be able to discern what's best for you. Always, always pull back, go within, and see what it means for you, okay? Whatever it is you're experiencing. Some of you have some unexpected income here. I see some coins falling. Some of you got some money coming in. There's a message of money coming in for somebody here, okay? And that's what I'm getting for today. So you guys have a good weekend. I'm going to be traveling next week. I'm actually traveling now. So I will see you all next week. And enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Bye-bye.